Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted, as always, to be joined by the now retired Ramez Mahmood. Ramez, thanks for your time, as always. Bit of a different interview this time. You've not got a fight coming up. You decided to call it a day. Um, Talk me through it. Why now? Obviously, good win against Peter Murger last time out. Picked up another title. Still young. Why have you decided to walk away from the sport now?
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on. It's been good talking to you throughout my career. Um, it's been no secret that I've worked a full-time job while doing this. Obviously, hours at work have started to pick up as well. I'm just not sure how much I could have committed to doing it while the hours are picking up as well. I mean, a big part of my boxing was my fitness, my work ethic. I would outwork everyone in the gym, and I'm just not sure I would have been able to do that with the hours going on at work as well. Um, so I didn't want to do that and risk my health at doing that as well.
Yeah, of course. It's look, obviously it's a very dangerous, brutal sport and one thing you need to be fully committed to. Was there what is there a reason now rather than kind of a couple of years ago? Is there something that's changed in your career, in your life outside of your career in boxing? Yeah, just what's happened in the past kind of couple of months that's made you make that decision?
Again, it's just the hours at work picking up at this moment of time, career progression at work and things like that. So a few months ago, a few years ago, I could manage it all, just about, but I didn't make it work. I was able to manage it all. Right now, it's just managing it all is a lot harder to do.
Yeah, no, of course, of course. Is part of it as well, like obviously as I said, you've come off a good win. Is part of wanting to walk away now is because you've achieved what you've wanted to. You've been in title fights, you've won title fights, you've been on TV on more than one occasion. Is that part of the reason why as well? Like if you maybe say you had kind of maybe not won your last fight, would you want to carry on just to try and win a rematch or win that belt? Does that contribute it as well to the fact you've achieved what you've
Uh,
achieved in the sport?
yeah, yes and no. I mean, if I'd lost that fight, even as much as I'd wanted to make it right. I'm not sure just how much I would have been able to commit to it. But yes, in a way, it makes it sweeter that I was coming off the win. Um, and especially where I was coming off a couple of losses a few years ago, it would have killed me if I walked away after those losses. So it makes it a lot sweeter that I was coming off a win and a title win. So I can sort of live with myself a bit better coming off a win than a loss. Although it's still it still gets me a little bit every now and then. I mean, I'm sure even when I'm like 8 years old, I'm watching all the boys at two bantamweight. Then I'll be like, I'll have about 8 years old sort of thing. I think that part never leaves you, so that will always be there. But I'm just going to direct my energy into other things, I suppose, and I'd always still be involved in boxing, albeit not on the fighting side. I'd still be involved in boxing.
Brilliant. We'll get on to that in a little while, Ramez. But yeah, thanks for opening up to us about that. I've just got one final question on the actual retirement. Did you before your last fight, did you know that was going to be it? Was it a decision you made just after the fight? Yeah, just kind of just interested to know kind of the thought process in terms of like, did you know all along this was going to be your last fight, win or lose?
Um, well, not 100%. I knew it was sort of coming. I knew that the hours at work would be tricky, but I took my time after the fight just to sit on it all, just to make sure I was making the right decision. So not necessarily, but I did sit on it afterwards, just make sure I was doing the right thing, and it is the right thing now.
No, brilliant. Interested to know like who you've been in touch with since you announced it. I know you obviously announced it on social media as people do these days. You're part of the gym that's got a lot of big names in. Obviously, as we discussed in our interview a couple months ago, you were kind of training with Anthony Joshua a few days before the fight. Who's been in touch with you the last few days, Ramos?
Oh, look, my phone has not stopped popping off. Everyone's been in touch with me. Yeah, all the boys down the gym, like Ben Davison, Lee Wood, Barry Smith, Shabazz, all them boys have been in touch with me, and I'm gonna be in touch with all of them. Um, my first manager who I started my career with, Mickey Amu, he's been in touch with me. All the boys that I trained with then, the Ryan Walkers, Jordan Dujons. There's too many to name. Loads of people who have been in touch with me. It really has touched me, to be honest. The amount of support and amount of love I've been getting from them. So yeah, it's been nice.
Yeah, I mean, look, you do have a reputation as being a genuinely nice guy, whether it's to a fan or someone like me or a kind of someone who you've been in the ring with. So it's not a surprise that so many people have been in touch with you. Interested to talk about what you've achieved and your career really now, Ramez. What's the highlight? Obviously, I was there when you won your Southern Area title against Jack Budge. Last fight picked up the silver Commonwealth title against Peter Merger. As mentioned, you've been on TV. People know your name. Obviously, people are aware of your the nickname that comes with you. If you could pick out one highlight, what is it?
Um, I think maybe my last fight was probably the highlight. Because it was in the away corner, and a lot of people were saying beforehand that I'm done, and Peter's the one on the way up, and I'm on the way down. So I sort of had a point to prove, especially showing that I can come back after the losses. So maybe that one for those reasons that I just mentioned.
Yeah, yeah, makes complete sense. And I know you had th three losses on your career. Are there out of those three losses, is there one you look at that frustrates you more than others? One that you look at and think I could have done better that night? Which one kind of did you think about the most out of those three?
Um, Maybe the one against Chris Bork. I look back and say maybe I should have done more on it because at the end of the day there was only 2 points in it. I maybe probably could have done things better in the lead up. But you live and you learn, don't you?
Yeah, yeah, you definitely bounced back. What does boxing look like for you now, Remez? I know you've mentioned you will be staying in the sport to some capacity. What's that going to be? What are your plans within boxing moving forward?
So I'll definitely be involved in a coaching element. I've already got a little bit lined up with my old amateur club, Gator ABC. So we're doing work with them. Once everything with work settles and I've sort of adjusted to my hours, my new hours and everything, then I do want to start working with some pros as well. Not, so that's what I'm looking towards to do. So you see me in some corners hopefully pretty soon.
No, exciting. Exciting. Really do look forward to that. And do you think you will stay in touch with the pro boxing scene, as kind of like in terms of like a someone sitting in the stands, or would that be hard to do? I know some people maybe they retire and then they stay away from the sport a little for a moment, or people are retiring and then a couple of weeks later they're kind of they're back supporting someone who's fighting. What are you going to be like? Are you going to be? Will I see you at York Hall anytime soon?
Yeah, I love boxing, so I'm going to be at the shows. I'll be there. I'll get to as many as I can. Yeah, I just love boxing and obviously support my friends and everything that are boxing. Never know, might even throw myself in a commentary gig or something like that. I just want to be as involved as I can with it, as hands on as I can with it. But yeah, I'll be there. I will be there.
No, fantastic. And how? Just a couple left, Ramez. I know you've kind of given us so much of your time over the years, which you continue to do so. How how are you feeling now? Is it kind of happiness, sadness? What's been the main emotions going through you in the last few days?
The only it's a bit of both really. I'm content and I'm happy. But again, you do miss it. You don't get the vibes with the boys down the gym, and you don't know nothing can replicate that feeling of like the winning feeling. So that the fact that you never have that again does get you sometimes. But again, I'm okay with that. The main happy thing is I don't have to make weight again. So that's the bit that I can look back on and be like, yeah, never have to make weight again. Everything else I'm gonna miss that. I'm definitely gonna miss it. Um, but I still want to be involved in boxing as much as possible.
Yeah, fantastic. You talking about making weight just like leads me on to my final question, really. I'm always interested when some boxers retire. If some boxers obviously stay in the gym, stay fit because they want to, and obviously you see some boxers, not mentioning any names, but who, they've lived the life of a boxer, and they're happy to enjoy a few pies and relax. What are you gonna be like? Are you gonna still train, still be in the gym, still go for runs, or are you gonna relax?
No, I love training. That I genuinely do just enjoy training. So
Mm.
I've trained almost every day since announcing it. I wanted to get stuck into like some marathons, some high roxes, things like that. So yeah, I love training. I'm just gonna enjoy my food a bit more, but I'll still be training all the time.
Yeah, see what's next. All right. Well, Ramez, as always, thank you for your time. I think we've been speaking for I don't know, it must be around 5 or 6 years now. It's been great seeing you win those titles at York Hall. It's been fantastic, and thank you so much for your time over the years. I know this won't be the last time we speak. I'm sure I'll see you at York Hall, hopefully in March. But yeah, all the best.
Thank you, mate. Thanks for having me over these years, and I've enjoyed it.